Ever found yourself in a very stressful situation? Maybe you were in an interview. Perhaps you were in a board meeting, or maybe you're giving a presentation and you're being asked a lot of questions, or maybe there's just a situation going on and you're not exactly sure how to handle it. This is what you're going to learn a very quick tip on how to showcase your confidence under pressure. So you absolutely want to watch this video until the end. This is going to be a quick leadership tip to share with you to help you on your journey. Now, I was asked this question specifically by a client of mine, and she wanted to know, what is one tip that I can do really, really quickly in order for me to be able to show confidence under pressure? So I want to make sure I answer this question for her and give her some really great insight in terms of how to do this. So this is a live video, and if you're watching this portion of the video, you are more than likely watching the replay. So welcome, glad that you're here today. Give me just a few moments, because on YouTube, when you're doing a live video, typically people will join the conversation. I'll say hello to everyone, and then we'll go into this really quick leadership tip I want to share with you in terms of how you can show confidence under pressure. So before I get started, let me see what's going on in the chat. We have Forensic Accountant. Welcome back. Good evening. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastically well. Glad to have you here. Forensic Accountant is a very, very engaged subscriber on our channel. I've done a couple of videos based on some of the topics that he mentioned. So welcome. Glad that you're here today, friend. Appreciate you. And I did, while we're waiting for other people to join, I did do the video about going more into confidential information, and I did give you a shout out in the video, also Forensic Accountant, just for you to know. Now, many people, they do tend to struggle with confidence, and especially women in leadership, they do struggle with confidence as well. And so when we have these dialogue in these situations, these pressure situations that actually happen, you may wonder, well, how do I manage confidence? How can I still show confidence under pressure? I have a fundamental belief of confidence, and that specific belief that I want to share with you all today is that confidence, a big portion of it comes from knowledge. Many times people struggle with confidence because they're not exactly sure about something, or they're not exactly sure how it's supposed to be, and etc. So if you're able to establish a good knowledge base, then you will learn a lot and be able to show that confidence under pressure. Now, for those of you who have just joined, welcome, welcome. I'm going to tell you a disclaimer. I normally do not sound this way. If you have watched my channel the past couple days or so, I've been a little under the weather, so my voice is normally not like that. But before I go into how you can show confidence under pressure, if you like this topic, then this is a great time for you to subscribe to this channel, because I talk about how I can help you elevate yourself very quickly in your career. Use my over 20 years of expertise as a C-suite executive, a director, a public speaker to help you stand out from everybody else. So if that sounds interesting to you, then you want to subscribe. All right, let me say hello. So we already said hello to Forensic Accountant. Appreciate him being here today. Anwar Sabuhi, hello, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. Michael W. Harmon, hello. Angel Quintano, hello, welcome. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well today. Cheddar Cheese 619, hello. Well, Cheddar Cheese asks, can I donate to you? Well, Cheddar Cheese, I really appreciate that so much. My channel is growing, and so I'm getting close to being at that first level of growth. You have to be at a certain level on YouTube in order to accept donations. I'm not there just yet, friend. I just appreciate you being here and spending some time with me. And if I can help you in any way, I absolutely will, especially showing confidence under pressure. Feel free to just be here and just learn as much as you can to really elevate yourself as a leader. There will come a time on my channel when you can donate. Right now, we're just learning, and we're just gonna get you where you need to be. All right, JB Shady, hello, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. JB Shady says she's spitting facts right here, folks. Well, thank you, JB Shady. I appreciate you. Hope you subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your feedback there. And Cheddar Cheese 619 says, oh, okay. So remember, we're showing confidence under pressure, and this is going to be a bit of a shorter live. As I mentioned, my voice normally does not sound like this. I'm a little under the weather. But to show confidence under pressure, let's talk about confidence first, and then I'm going to give you my one strategy, my one quick tip that will help you be able to handle pressure when these situations come up. This is something that a lot of people don't talk about, but this is what's going to help you. Now, as I mentioned first, you have to have confidence. What is confidence? You have to have a knowledge base. Sometimes You can read a textbook, right, and think you know something, but until you are actually in the middle of a situation and are really learning, then this is something that is going to be a struggle for you. So oftentimes, knowing, having a very good knowledge base of your specific discipline, whatever it is a great way for you to build up knowledge. So what does that look like? If you are in a specific discipline, there may be certain topics that are very hot topics or very important topics in your field specifically that you want to learn a lot of information about. Maybe there's organizations that you want to be a part of that are related to your discipline that gives you more of an insider look in terms of what's going on in your field. Knowledge is really powerful, and this is what actually helps you to start showing confidence under pressure, because when you're in those high pressured moments as a leader, many things are coming at you one at a time, very, very fast. But you have to have this confidence in your mind or how to deal with the situation, because if you don't know how to deal with the situation, guess what happens? You can't go into crisis mode. You can't do it because you're still trying to figure out, well, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do? You should have a lot of that information already in your mind so you know exactly what to do. Now, before I go into the strategy I want to share with you in terms of the first thing that I recommend to do when you're trying to show confidence under pressure, let me go to the chat. Let's see what's going on. So Forensic Accountant says, I think it's a good idea to be honest about your feelings in the moment. I agree. Absolutely, Forensic Accountant. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the heart emojis that just came up. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Forensic Accountant says, if you're feeling stressed, say so. Talk to someone you can trust. If not, talk to yourself. That is true. Absolutely. Forensic Accountant, once again, just appreciate you providing such a really great insight for everyone to really consider. You do have to show that level of transparency, and people, they struggle with this when they're in crisis situations, because you do have to be able to showcase exactly what's going on. Of course, you want to showcase your executive presence, that you are the leader and you're handling this, but being able to really be very transparent with your team members at that time is important, because they will understand this is what's going on. This is the situation. I talk about this a lot on my channel, and I talk about how communication is so important. What Forensic Accountant mentioned, a great way to really manage how you're feeling in the moment and still showcase your executive presence, even if you're under pressure, is to monitor your tone of voice. There are several videos I have here on my channel that talk specifically about your tone of voice. And if you want to really get into more, I'd say more strategic in terms of how you're communicating to really stand out from everybody else, watch a couple of those live videos there. It is very, very helpful. It will give you some good fundamental things to start working on when you're in those crisis situations. Now, before I go into the strategy I want to share with you in terms of the first thing you need to do if you're under pressure, Forensic Accountant also mentioned that you have to, sometimes you got to talk to who you can trust. If not, talk to yourself. Sometimes you do have to do that. If you are one of those individuals, when you have a crisis situation going on, and maybe your first response that you do is to step away for a moment so that you can digest what's going on, then that may be that time, just as Forensic Accountant said, where you need to talk to yourself. You may need to talk yourself through this and figure out, what am I going to do? How am I going to manage the situation? So I appreciate that, Forensic Accountant, so much. Okay, so are you Muslim? Hello, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here today. Let me know where you all are joining from in the big, beautiful world today. I'm sorry I didn't get to ask that earlier. As I mentioned, I'm a little under the weather today. All right, Christine C. Hello, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here today, Christine. This is a great opportunity to learn about leadership and what you can do to show confidence under pressure. So I appreciate you being here today, friend. Now, the strategy that I want to share with you all today in terms of what you can do. Now, as I mentioned, this question came to me from a client of mine, and she asked, what is one quick tip that I should do if I want to show confidence under pressure? Now, remember, confidence under pressure is complex. There's a lot of things that go into it in terms of how you manage it, what you say, how you say it. And if any of that sounds interesting to you in terms of, well, how do I manage it? What do I say? And how do I say it? Then this is a great opportunity for you to subscribe to the channel, because I talk about this in depth on my channel. You want to absolutely spend time on my live tab page, because that is where most of my content is right now until I'm transitioning into more recorded content, which will be here very, very soon. So I still will be going live Tuesday through Friday, but I'm also going to have more recorded content out as well. So it's going to be a combination of a lot of things going on my channel if you are ready to learn more about it. So the first thing that I want to mention, this is a quick tip, as I mentioned. The first thing I tell people is you have to do this. If you have a crisis situation, you have to do this to show confidence under pressure. Are you ready? The strategy, and as I mentioned, there's multiple things you need to do, but if I'm just giving you one quick tip today, you have to gain information. You have to know what's going on. You cannot make a decision in terms of how you're going to manage this situation that you are under pressure with or showcase your confidence if you have no clue what's going on. So you have to find those individuals that you trust, just as Forensic Accountant said previously. You have to get intel. You need information because you can't make decisions off of no information. That is why knowledge is so important. If you know what's going on, then make sure you can make a decision, and you have to make your own decision-making tree, so to speak, in terms of how you process decisions and etc. But you have to ask what's going on. What's going on? Is this, what type of fire is this? How do I need to manage this right now? Who do I need to speak with? Find those trusted individuals that you know will give you reliable information. Now, sometimes you may not have trusted individuals. So if you don't have trusted individuals, then you have to reach out to your trusted organizations or some of your key contacts that you may have to gain information to know exactly what's going on. If you're in a business meeting and you're under pressure in an interview or etc., and you just don't know what to do, ask a question. Just ask a clarifying question. I do this with my clients in a one-on-one setting, especially when they are potentially confused about a question and they don't know how to answer or respond when they're under pressure in an interview or in a meeting. I always tell them this strategy, and this is something I share with my one-on-one clients that I want to share with you all. Make sure you ask a question back. So if you are in two scenarios, if you're in a very crisis situation, you have to collect data. You have to collect information fast. If you're in a meeting and you're under pressure, ask a question back. Ask that person to clarify what they said, because you want to make sure you're making a response and you're thinking about that response in your mind while they're thinking about how can I rephrase this question, because basically you're telling them the question you asked me is not quite clear. Can you ask it again? And this is a great time to give you a little bit of just a few moments just to think about what you want to say. And this will help you to show confidence under pressure because you're doing this in a very concise, very calm way. And this is the first strategy I tell everybody. You have to find information and you have to gather it. Whether you're in the meeting, ask a question back. What specifically do you mean by this? Or can you clarify what you're trying to explain? If you're in a crisis situation, find the trusted people that you mentioned, Forensic Accountant or anybody else who can give you information that's accurate, not the highly emotional information, because we all know as leaders, there's highly emotional people that will tell you, the sky is falling, and everything is falling. You don't need those people when you're under pressure. No, you don't need those people when you're under pressure. You need the people that are very, they might be a little bit heightened in terms of what's going on, depending. I've been in very crisis situations, so I understand. But ultimately, you have to be that composed leader and let them know that, okay, I'm gathering information, what's going on, explain to me, and then you determine how you want to handle it. That's my very quick strategy for you all today. Now, before I go into any other questions you all have, let me look in the chat, see what's going on. So Forensic Accountant says, people joke about this, but saying to yourself, you got this works. It does, and I appreciate you so much for mentioning that, Forensic Accountant. And Christine, hello, welcome again. So what Forensic Accountant mentioned is highly successful to leaders, because sometimes, as many of us know as leaders, you do feel like you are in a bit of a silo. Why is that? Because leaders, by nature, they operate a bit differently than your average people. And so if you are watching this video or subscribe to my channel, you, leader, are at that level where you are operating a bit differently than everybody else. You think of things differently, you process things differently, and depending on the role, specifically if you're a woman in leadership or perhaps a man in leadership, you have your own unique specific challenges that you deal with, and there's just a way you process things. And so sometimes it can be a bit isolating. I know a lot of the women leaders that I work with in a one-on-one setting, they do tell me that sometimes they struggle with this because they weren't really shown exactly how to do leadership in different industries, particularly if they have been in a setting where is the roles that they're occupying, or maybe just now being occupied by women. And so sometimes it can be a challenge. So you do have to be able to build a network, but sometimes you may be by yourself and you may have to figure out, how can I do this? And as forensic accountant said, being able to say you got this is a way to help encourage you to get into that right state of mind to help you to be confident under pressure. People oftentimes talk about having that right state of mind or thinking positively and trying to put yourself in that best version of yourself type of state in terms of how you think. It is very important. And one of the exercises I do with my clients in a one-on-one setting that is very, very helpful to them, especially when they have those challenging situations, are different exercises. One of them is visualization. Visualization is a really important exercise that I do with my clients to help them visualize what it is that they want this next positive move in their life to look like. And I can tell you, me personally, I have a coach myself, but this is something that can help you really move forward. In addition to really talking yourself through it, saying you got this, doing those positive affirmations to yourself, because you do. You can do this. You can show confidence under pressure. Make sure you have a really good knowledge base. Start, and if you feel like you don't have the knowledge like you need to show confidence, then start learning. Learn as much as you can. Be that person that knows a lot about knows a little bit about a lot, or you can know a lot about a specific discipline. This is something that is critically important in policy. As many of you know, I've spent time with congressional leaders and etc. And I've given Florida State congressional testimony, so I do understand the legislative process and how policy works. And policy, the way policy works, is that you know a little information about a lot of things. You have to know that, especially when they have large bills and things like that coming up. You have to have a little bit of knowledge about it, or have your trusted people that you talk to that you learn more about it. That's just something total, complete, off track a bit, but somewhat related to what we're talking about, because you need that knowledge. And then make sure you're getting that information, the accurate information that you need to make an informed decision. If you're in a meeting, make sure you're in a setting where if you don't know the answer and you need a few seconds to think, then ask a clarifying question back to give you a little bit of time to show confidence when you feel like you are under pressure. Now, as I mentioned, there's a lot of things that go into it. You got this, as a forensic accountant said. It's really important to talk yourself through these type of situations when they happen. As I mentioned with my clients, I do visualization exercises, anchoring exercises as a neuro-linguistic programming technique. I do a lot of things with my clients. So if you're at a point in your career where you're trying to go into a setting where you feel like you're not where you need to be, or you feel like you're getting overlooked in roles and etc., then just reach out to me for a strategy session in the link below. Is a complimentary about 20-minute call that we'll have, and it'll give me an opportunity to learn more about you and what are some of the challenges that you're facing and how I can get you to where you need to be. Now, my channel, in terms of my client base, I work with women in leadership, but on my channel, I have a lot of great men in leadership that are present as well, just like Forensic Accountant is here, and I have a few other individuals also, and the content I'm sharing with you is about leadership, and so it transcends gender. And so, of course, I have my audience I work with, but my audience here on YouTube consists of men and women. And if you are watching this, then I know that you are trying to elevate yourself as a leader, and I want to be able to provide you with support and provide you with that higher level of communication skills so that you can really, truly stand out from everybody else. People become great by how they communicate. And so my role here, regardless of where you are on your journey, is to really unlock the greatness with you. Even if we don't work on a one-on-one setting, I still want to be able to help you with my YouTube channel so that you can go to that next level and be the leader that we really need in the world today. So before I leave here, I'm going to look at the chat. Let me see. Forensic Accountant says, I used to work in politics, too funny. Oh, really? So what did you do, if you can share? That would be great. That's good to know. So you understand definitely how important it is. You have to show confidence under pressure. When you're in those type of situations, it is like you have to do. You have to do it, or you're going to not look like you're confident at all, and people will let you know about it all the time. Nicholas Gutierrez, welcome back, Nicholas. Hope you're doing well today. And Nicholas Gutierrez says, give heart emojis. Well, thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the heart emojis too, friend. Thank you so much. Nicholas Gutierrez says, I love your content. Well, thank you, and the hearts. I appreciate that. All right, I appreciate that, Nicholas. And welcome back, friend. Glad to have you back. Forensic Accountant says, I was party chair state level. Oh, wow. Okay, great. Yeah, so I can only imagine what you've dealt with. You've done a lot of things, I'm sure. So I appreciate that. And if you have any insights, of course, you know, on my channel, I know you're here when you can be. But if you have any other topics that you think may be helpful for the audience to learn more about, especially with your political experience, then feel free to let me know in the comments below, or let me know on any of my videos. You know, I will do a video and definitely give you a shout out for sure, like I have done in the past. But a lot of times when you're managing situations and you're trying to lead at that higher level, people wonder, well, how do I do it? Well, you have to learn it. This is a skill that you learn. Just like as forensic accountant was a party chair on the state level, dealing and interacting with political issues and etc. You have to learn it. These are not skills people just woke up one day and said, oh, by the way, I can be able to communicate under pressure. It doesn't happen that way. Some people maybe are naturally good at it, but I guarantee you, everybody has had some form of training in this process, which is the reason why I'm here to help you if you're ready to go to that next level. All right, so Nicholas Gutierrez, I appreciate the heart emojis. Thank you so much. And let's see, Nicholas Gutierrez says, wait, they don't love your content like I love your content. Well, thank you, Nicholas Gutierrez. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody being here and being so supportive. There's a few things that's going to be going on my channel. I'm probably going to do them on Fridays. I can't go into a lot of details on them, but I don't know how it's going to appear for you on your end. Just know that I'm doing a few things as it relates to YouTube and live streaming. I can't go into details on it because they've told me not to. So you might want to check out my live streams. Definitely tomorrow night, I think I'm going to be able to do something there on YouTube side. And there's a couple of times, I have to do it a few times. So there's something else I have to do. So you have to just watch my lives here over the next, I would say for sure, watch them in general. But for sure, over the next week and a half, you may see some very interesting things, but I can't tell you what they are. They told me I cannot tell you. So you just might want to watch. You might be able to see some cool stuff here. Okay, so Forensic Accountant says you have to talk about social media and how not to generate sensitive posts under your given name. The Forensic Accountant, I'm going to actually take a screenshot because this is a topic that people really need to learn about. Forensic Accountant, I've seen so many people get fired fast for saying things, sensitive comments and sensitive posts, as you mentioned, under their given name. You have to be very, very, very careful about how you say things and when you say things. Forensic Accountant, high five, friend, because that's a fantastic topic. And that may be something I end up doing. I may do it tomorrow. I have to see. I may do it tomorrow. It depends. I have a couple things I'm doing on the YouTube side. So I have to see if I can work that in. But if not, that's going to come up here very soon because that's a really good topic. And that sounds like something on a Friday I might do when I have a little bit more time to talk to you all. All right, Keelan Yang. Welcome back, Keelan. How are you doing today? Glad to see you again, friend. All right, so Forensic Accountant says freedom of speech doesn't extend to the private sector. Yes, that is true. So people, they do not understand your words really do matter, and how you say it, what you say it, when you say it really does matter. It really, really does. And I can't tell you, I've personally seen people be fired and terminated from jobs and companies because of situations like that. I can go into a list of reasons why I've seen people fired. So you just really want to be very, very mindful in terms of how you're speaking. So that's a really great topic, and I will definitely be doing a video on that specifically. All right, Nicholas Gutierrez, I appreciate the hearts. And Nicholas Gutierrez says you're number one. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And Nicholas Gutierrez says, I subscribe. Well, thank you, friend. I'm glad that you subscribe. And he says you matter. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, friend. I appreciate that so much. So for those of you who just joined, I just gave a really, really, really quick tip in terms of what you can do to show confidence under pressure as a leader. And if you're just now watching, you definitely want to check out the replay. There's some good information there, but I'll highlight it for you very, very quickly. If you're trying to show confidence under pressure, you first need knowledge. So make sure you are learning as much as you can about your specific field, your specific discipline. Learn as much as you can, because it's sometimes very hard to show confidence if you don't know anything, or if you don't know something specific about a field. Majority of times when I'm working with my clients in a one-on-one setting, especially the women in leadership that I work with, most of the time when people say, I don't feel confident, it's about, they think it's about feeling, and it is to a certain extent, but there's something that's missing. So what is it that's missing? And let's find it so that you can be confident. This is what I do with my clients. And most of the time they just need to learn more information, or they may need to learn how to handle situations differently. Being able to collect intel is critically important when you're under pressure. If you're in a meeting, make sure you are reflecting back a question. If someone asks you something and you're not sure how to respond, buy yourself time. I tell my clients this all the time. Buy yourself some time so that you are able to answer those questions and be able to show your case yourself as having confidence under pressure. The next one is to make sure that you are getting correct and accurate information. Find those trusted individuals that were mentioned to you previously. And this is something that is really important, because if you can find those trusted individuals, then you can get really good information and intel so that you can make those best decisions. So ultimately, the quick tip for the day, leaders, is get information. You have to know what's going on. You cannot make decisions for your team, for yourself, or anyone else if you don't have a sense of what is going on here. Then you gather the information, and then you make that decision that's best for you and your team. So I appreciate you all being here today and being the best part of my YouTube lives. I really appreciate you all engaging and being present. And you're one of the main reasons why I've been invited to YouTube's live stream and research panel. And I'm going to be doing this with them for the next year. So being live, being present, having interactions, having chats really does boost the algorithm, and YouTube actually sees it. And so that's why they invited me to be a part of their live stream and research panel. And they're asking me to do some things and be able to provide you with support and really help to shape the way live streaming is done on YouTube. So you definitely, if you're not subscribed to this channel, you absolutely want to subscribe, because this is going to be one of the places where you're probably going to see some really cool things happening, and you're going to be pretty surprised in terms of what comes up, because I'm actually directly helping YouTube on this. All right, so Nicholas Gutierrez says, what is your job? So Nicholas Gutierrez, thank you for the thumbs up, and I will absolutely answer your question, friend, since we're about to wrap up here in just a few. So in terms of what my job is, so what I do is I am an executive coach. So I'm an executive coach. I specifically focus on helping women in leadership be able to go to that next level in their careers and communicate at a higher level. However, Nicholas, on my channel here on YouTube, I have amazing men in leadership also, like yourself, forensic accountant, and a few other individuals as well. And so I'm here to really to support anyone that is in a leadership journey. In terms of my one-on-one clients, that's who I work with in terms of the women. But here on this channel, I'm here to help anybody. I want the world to be a better place. We need more great leaders in the world. And so I want to be able to help people learn how to articulate themselves and communicate at that higher level, so they stand out from everybody else when they are in their positions or doing more in their business. And I also am a general dentist, so I'm a doctor also. Okay, so Nicholas Gutierrez says, like a therapist. No, so executive coaching. So this is the difference between coaching and a therapist. Therapists, they really work on what's happened in the past. So they work on what's happened in the past, things that have occurred in the past, and try to come over it. Coaching, or an executive coaching in this specific instance for me, my role is I'm not going into the past and bringing up the past. There's licensed therapists and etc. My role is, how can I help you move forward? Not forward slowly, forward quickly. Most of the people that actually are working with executive coaches are the individuals who move forward fast in their careers. Why? Because they have someone that has been trained to help them really think about things differently, and that is able to help them do exercises like I mentioned, visualization and neuro-linguistic programming, and then also being able to help them think of things differently and help them be more accountable to their goals so they move forward quickly. Coaching will change your life. It was changed my life personally. I've done amazing things that I didn't know I was going to be able to do in a faster amount of time. And it's not always about rushing and going fast, but when you have a very highly focused session, you are able to move forward in your career so much faster than you would if you were doing it on your own. So for instance, you might be trying to accomplish a goal that takes you a couple years to do. You work with a coach, you might be able to do that goal within a couple months. This is why we are trained as executive coaches, to help you really move forward like that. So Nicholas Gutierrez says, oh, I get it now. Okay, fantastic. Awesome, friend. That's great. Nicholas Gutierrez says, I think I'm the last one here on the chat, so you're only talking to me. Well, there's a few more people here that are watching right now, but remember, we have a replay audience that watches the videos too. So being able to have that dialogue with you and with Forensic Accountant, we have Keelan that came back, and I'm trying to see if there's anyone else that comes to the channel quite a bit. Everybody else I minimized my screen, but appreciate Forensic Accountant and Keelan Yang, Nicholas Gutierrez coming back to the channel. Also, I appreciate you all. And I hope you all have a amazing, absolutely amazing evening. And as I mentioned, watch out for my lives over the next week and a half. I don't know how it's gonna look, but you might wanna check them out if you want to experience maybe something a little bit different. So anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you like this video, definitely you want to check out the videos I have, how to handle your emotions under stress, under pressure, and etc. So I'll talk to you all soon and hope you have a great day. Bye for now.